Good afternoon. It has been a long time since I did a video from my desk. Partly the reason I wasn't doing them was because of really bad upload speed on our internet. So it would take 6 to 8 hours just to upload a gigabyte worth of video. And that's usually like 6 to 8 minutes. So I was getting tired of having to babysit my computer to download or upload, I mean. So since then, I did post a homily on Facebook. Would have been about 2 weeks ago now, maybe. It was right before I left for Duluth, Minnesota. I was gone for a couple days, and people ask me, how do you know so much? I don't know a whole lot. The books behind me, I've read. Some of them are resource books. I use them from time to time. And there's others that I have read all the way through. Right now, I am reading, it's a nonfiction book. It's by Robert O'Neill, I think is his name. He's the Navy SEAL who killed Osama bin Laden. And I've watched the movie Zero Dark 30 quite a few times. That's one thing about me, if you don't know, is that I can watch a movie about 20 times and still get entertained by it. So people ask me, how do I know so much? And it's because of this thing. Not because of what I read, but what I listen to. And so today I'm just going to offer you some podcasts. If you drive a lot, sometimes some people are talk radio junkies, and that's okay. But I think I've learned a lot more by listening to podcasts than I have by listening to talk radio, listening to rock and roll. And I don't do books on tape well. I like to read books. That's I'm just kind of, I'm a weird person that way. So I will just go through the shows that I have and kind of explain each one of them bit by bit. So at the top of my list is, and I'll try and link to each of these if I remember to, below in the video description as well. So All Things Catholic is relatively new. It's by Dr. Ed Sri. S-R-I is the spelling of the last name. And he's a professor at the Augustine Institute, who was very influential in starting Focus, the Fellowship of Catholic University Students. And so usually every Monday or Tuesday, he releases a quick little podcast. It's only about 15 minutes about different things. Sometimes he'll do like a theme, and he might do like 3 weeks in a row. Sorry, I forgot to turn my volume down on my computer. I just got a message. Very good. When he gets excited, he talks really fast, sometimes like I do as well. He's a good one. Bishop Barron's sermons. Early on when I was a priest, I would listen to these and, kind of steal some material from time to time. Still do. Sometimes his homilies are repeats. He might not do a brand new one, because we know the Catholic lectionary on Sundays is on a 3-year cycle, A, B, and C. That's just the copier. Don't worry about him. So I've heard some of the sermons repeatedly. Some are from his time in Chicago, and some of them are now from his time in California. The next one is a lot of these, the following ones are from Catholic Answers. Catholic.com is their website, and I listen to this a lot. So their main show is called Catholic Answers Live. It's a call-in show. It runs for 2 hours, Monday through Friday, unless it's a holiday or holy day of obligation. And so Tuesdays and Thursdays, they run what's called an open forum. Anybody can call with any question. On other days, they might do a little more focused, maybe on a book of the Bible or a certain topic that's in the news. Trent Horn is one of their more popular apologists. An apologist is not one who says, I'm sorry for being Catholic, but rather defends why they're Catholic. And so I'm just going to sip my espresso now. I think it's cooled off, so cheers. I got about half of it. I'll get the other half in just a little bit. So Catholic Answers has got Jimmy Akin is a well-known apologist, Tim Staples, Carlo Broussard, And they have lots of guests. Their chaplain is remarkable. Father Hugh Barber, he's a Norbertine priest from Orange, California. Just a wonderful man. Very intelligent, but also a wonderful advisor with pastoral questions. The next one is called Catholic Answers Focus. And this is a short little interview style. It's usually 30 to 40 minutes. And, it's an interview from an author per se, or I know early on they had some pretty unique ones. I remember Kevin Costner was interviewed. I'm guessing Jim Caviezel has been interviewed as well. Another one that they have is called Clumsy Theosis. Theosis is the idea or reality of us becoming like God. And so the word clumsy, we do things clumsily as human beings. We make mistakes. We screw things up. And so this is another one from Catholic Answers by Rochelle Arnold, I think is her name. A good speaker. These episodes last from 10 to 15 minutes or so. The next one I read, or I don't read these, I listen to them, darn it, is the daily readings from the New American Bible. So when I'm getting ready in the morning, for homily prep for a daily mass, I will listen to these to kind of get my bearings, and then I might write a few things down as to give a little outline for my homily that day. The next ones, actually I've got one more from Catholic Answers. It is the Council of Trent, referring to Trent Horn, not the council in the 1500s. And so that one, Trent takes up an issue and discusses it and those kinds of things. Love People Use Things is another one from Matt Fradd, who is a Catholic apologist, and then also Noah Church, who is an atheist, despite his last name. And this podcast revolves around helping people heal from the use or exposure to pornography. And along with that, sexual sins, lust, masturbation, whatever it might be. And then it's a very good one. I've learned a lot from that, just the psychology of addiction, and also how to pastorally help somebody in these situations. The next one is the Minnesota Wild Podcast. I'm a hockey fan. You don't see any hockey paraphernalia in my background right now, but be assured it is in my house. This does like post-game reports, press conferences, those kinds of things. It's really my own only non-religious one on there, so I think I'm entitled to that. The next couple, one is it's Pints with Aquinas. Matt Fradd started this as kind of a homework assignment, basically the way he describes it, and it has morphed into his livelihood. He's studied for a master's degree, I believe, in philosophy with Holy Apostles College and Seminary in Connecticut, and he took it so seriously that, or enjoyed it so much that I think that he made it his profession. So every week he releases something about the thought of Aquinas and discusses it with somebody by reading the text and also maybe having a pint or espresso. It's good. It's good. The next one is the St. Josemaria podcast. This is a compilation of meditations, basically from either Days of Recollection or other things done by Opus Dei. And so there's two priests. Father Peter Armenio is one for sure, and the other one hasn't been named. He just kind of shows up here and there. Both very good. I attend Opus Dei retreats for my annual priest retreat. Usually go down to Texas. It's been a good retreat center to go to for a few different reasons, but very good. Often, sometimes these podcasts are centered around an upcoming feast day. So they had one for the Assumption, they had one for the Queenship of Mary, I think, as well. The next one, the Catholic Culture Podcast with Thomas Miras. CatholicCulture.org is a very good website, and so this podcast is put on by one of the gentlemen who works for it, and rather lengthy, a little more on the academic side, so it's not just a nice little kind of nicety, just to say we need Catholic culture and then that's it. It really does dive into more information about that. So I'll read you one of the titles, episode 16, Extremely Specific Middle Earth Q&A with the Tolkien professor Corey Olsen. It's very nerdy. So unless you haven't read Tolkien and maybe The Hobbit or the bigger chunk Lord of the Rings, you might be swimming pretty hard to get through that. Go back. Three more, I'm sorry. Third to last is called The Liturgy Guys. This comes out every Wednesday, I think it is. Except for the summer, they take a break, which summer is almost over anyway. And what they do with this one is they examine part of a document or practice within the Catholic liturgical tradition, and they talk about it. Very informative, wonderful hosts as well. Dennis McNamara and Chris Karstens are on staff there, and Jesse Weiler, who is kind of a media guru. Very fun. One of my favorite ones, to be honest with you. Two more. The Patrick Coffin Show. Patrick Coffin used to be the host of Catholic Answers Live, and he broke off from that about a year and a half ago. And he now does this. It's Kimber. He's on at least episode 64, probably even beyond that now, maybe even to the 80s. So he releases one per week, and very smart man, very well learned and well read, good with the gift of gab as well. Does lots of interviews, more or less related to the Catholic faith, but also just enlivening the Catholic life. Last one, Word on Fire Show. This comes out every Monday, and this is an interview usually with Bishop Barron, Robert Barron of Archdiocese of LA in California. And it's an interview style, topical again. So you can kind of get the gist of what I try and learn from. It's very topical, very informative for me as well. So I've learned a lot as a preacher in learning how to phrase things in discussion and dialogue. And also some logic as well of how to bring down an argument or how to try and defeat an argument against something. So I will try and put a link to each of these. It might be a little tough, but I will do my best. Hope you're doing well. May God bless you and those you love.